Coming up today on That LTD Life, is it really possible to create your dream website in only 20 seconds entirely using AI? Well, we're about to find out as I test out Butternut AI over on AppSumo. This is a new lifetime deal, currently $59, and it does kind of lead me down a short rat hole that I want to take here. Basically, we have now seen a pattern of 3 weeks in a row where AppSumo is putting their brand new deals on sale for 7 days. This just launched a few hours ago. Currently, it has got 6 days and 19 hours before the price increases. The deal will still be live on AppSumo after these 7 days. The price is just going to go up. In fact, I find it a little confusing. I often will go to the AppSumo software page, choose AppSumo Select, and sort by latest. And if you do that right now, you'll see all of the deals from last week, all of these here from Gozen Forms all the way down to Notch. These are all last week's tools. But most of them say new, some of them say the offer ends in 7 days, and the rest of them after this, these are the actual new tools. So sorting by new is actually not showing us the newest first, which is not necessarily a great thing, especially if you're a casual AppSumo shopper and you say, oh, I've seen all these before, there is nothing new around. Well, scroll a little bit deeper because a bunch of new tools came out today. But I digress, it's time to get back on track. My name is Dave, by the way, I'm from ClientAmp.com. This video is not sponsored, so if you wanna help support the content, I've got a link for AppSumo down below in the description. You wanna check out any of those new deals, go ahead and click on that first. Today, we're looking at Butternut AI. I'm gonna come back and look at the plans and pricing a little bit later on after we've actually checked out the tool. And yeah, let's get right into it. So here is Butternut AI. I just got my account. I'm gonna go through the onboarding sequence here. It does have a username and password system, so that's always good to see. A little bit odd, I always find it unusual when an application has a limit on the number of characters you can have for your password. This one has a 15 character limit, and my password manager tried to create a password that was longer than 15 characters, and I had to generate a new one. Small little thing, but it always stands out to me like, why would you limit that? It just seems less secure to have a shorter password. But alas, there was no onboarding sequence, no wizards. I actually kind of like that, assuming the product is simple enough to use. So here it is. This is a blank Butternut AI account. Now I can make a brand new website. With my plan, I just got tier 1. I can only make one website. So let's go ahead and click this button right here to create our dream website. Okay, so the website creation setup looks pretty simple, just 2 steps. Enter in your business name. So I put ClientAmp, and then there's basically a little description box. So I said, we manage, support, and host WordPress websites for creators and e-commerce store owners. Let's click the generate button and see what happens. It says, Rome wasn't built in a day, but your website will be ready in just a few seconds. All right, I feel like I should have read that in a robot voice. Uh-oh, it's being deleted. Is my website also being deleted? All right, so here we go. I've got a full website here. It looks like it did a pretty good job. So if I scroll through the site here, I can see I have a hero section, some key features, SEO optimization, e-commerce support. So these are things that we'll offer in our services, which is website maintenance, 24/7 support, hosting solutions. This is all just from that 2-line prompt. So I guess in that respect, it is fairly impressive. Although I think the design leaves a little bit to be desired. It looks a little bit dated in terms of the just overall layout. Like these little cards here don't look amazing. We can scroll down here. It says ClientAmp empowering your online presence. We've got kind of like a numbered system here, 1, 2, 3, how it can actually benefit you. It'd be nice if this was maybe just step 1, step 2, step 3, rather than having it in 2 columns there. We've got some testimonials down here. Oh, it even pulls in the fact that we are in Minneapolis. That is very interesting. In fact, there is a get in touch section where it pulls in an address, not ours, but reasonably close enough to find us. And it even makes up a phone number here. So I could easily edit any of this. By the way, it's just in line. Well, not that I apparently have to hit the edit button first. Whoa, that is a very large edit button. But there we go. Now I can actually edit my phone or hours of operation. And it looks like the page ends here with this subscribe to our newsletter section. And I can click on this and edit the content as well. No inline editing. I would like to see that for sure. Where what I mean by inline editing is that I can just click and type right on the page so I can see how the typography will lay out. But as it is, it's just these little boxes that pop up like custom fields almost. Okay, so this is the homepage, but several other pages were created from that single prompt as well. I've got a solution page. Let's click on that. does have a little bit of a delay while it loads it up, but here is the solutions page. It's got a bigger hero section than the homepage. And then we've got essentially a very similar design to what we saw before, when ending with a subscribe to our newsletter section. And here's the clients page. As we scroll through this, we can see what it looks like. We've got a little carousel or the logo section here for our existing clients, some feedback, a little testimonial area. And then we've got, again, the call to action to subscribe to the newsletter. All right, let's check out the last few pages, and then we'll go a little bit deeper into the editor and find out how much we can actually change this thing. Here is what the contact form looks like on the Contact Us page. And then finally, we've got a testimonials page. Kind of confusing to have both a clients page and a testimonials page. That is a little bit redundant in my opinion. So here's the testimonials page. It says real feedback from our valued clients. And then it says client AMP testimonials. And there's this little slider here. You can see all of the little dots at the top. That indicates a different testimonial. It doesn't seem like this is necessarily auto playing, or if it is, it's going very, very slowly. Yeah, I don't think it is. So I would never use this personally as a website builder because people are not going to see these, right? No one's going to click through this. You'd rather have it something scrollable that someone can see on their phone and just flick through. Also the name of the person leaving the testimonial and their role is listed below, but it's in a different color. So it kind of looks disconnected to me. Before we look at the customization, I will point out there's also a privacy policy page. Here's what this looks like. Again, kind of slow to load up the pages. You've got data collection, data usage, data storage. Obviously, you need to beef this up. It's not quite comprehensive. And then we've got a terms and conditions page as well. Okay, so if we just set aside for a moment the fact that it created an entire website in about 20 seconds and really try to make this something we could legitimately be proud of, there are a few places we could start to edit to get the biggest results. And the first place that I want to go to is up here where it says change theme. So if I click on this, I've got a few different options. I've got light mode and dark mode. These could definitely be labeled better. So we're currently on light mode, but if I switch over to dark mode, I think it instantly gets a lot better or modern looking. It's not modern yet, but it's definitely getting there. The next thing I can do is update the brand color because it kind of gave us this, navy blue type of color, and I'm not huge on that. So here's our real website, and there are a few colors I could pull from. Like I could get this action color here, but it's gonna change that to be this top banner bar. So I don't necessarily love that either. Maybe what I'll do instead is get this blue color here. That might not look the greatest with the dark mode, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'm using a tool here called the SIP, by the way. It just allows me to grab any color, automatically copies that to my clipboard, and here we go. All right, that is actually not too bad. I just need to make sure to update the color of the text because right now it's white on that light blue, not very readable. So let's see if we can actually change this. There is a font section here, but I don't see anything about font colors. Looking at the font section, actually, it's kind of limited. There are a few of them to choose from, but not like all of the Google fonts or anything. And there's no way to upload them as far as I can see. So I'm going to go ahead and change this. How about Railway? Oh, and it's interesting. The secondary fonts is actually different. I know you can't see them all here on the screen recording, but it is a different set of fonts, which is kind of strange. You'd think you'd at least have the option to match them if you wanted. I'm going to do Open Sans here. I think that looks a little bit more modern. All right, so we're getting better for sure. I can also up or lower the font sizes. Now, one thing I will point out is that the line length at the current font size is a lot longer than I'd want. So here, I have not changed the font size. I did for a moment, but I changed it right back. This line right here, I'm going to pull open Text Sniper here, which is currently available on AppSimo. I think it's like $6 or something. Just lets you OCR anything on the page. I just did that. I grabbed this line of text. I'm going to open this up in charactercounter.net. Here's the website, or wordcounter.net. And you can see here it's 107 characters. That's really long for a single line of text. Usually we like to keep things no bigger than 75 characters, especially in something like a hero section that's right under a headline. We want to make that nice and short and readable. I'd actually prefer it to be even shorter than 75, maybe in the 50 to 60 range for that particular location. So right now, this is way too long. One way I can get around that is, of course, to just make it a little bit bigger. Now, ideally, I would choose this section and just squish the section in, but I don't have the ability to do that with the editing tools, at least as far as I can tell. So back on change theme, I'm gonna go ahead and just bump up the font size a little bit here. It'd be nice if it gave you a few more font options, things like line height and things like that. Okay, so I think that's looking better. Next up, I don't want to forget about this top menu bar up here. It's very hard to read, so let's click edit here and find out if there is any way to actually change the color. It does not appear that there is. That's a bummer. I can hide the title and just upload a logo, so I will do that for sure. All right, so I've uploaded my logo as well as a favicon here. I could add a call button. Let's go ahead and just see what that looks like. I'll enter in a fake phone number here and we'll save this. All right, so here is our logo up here looking a lot better. I still need to worry about these navigation items though. So let's edit that main nav menu. Looks like I can add pages, or edit the nav bar. Let's start off with editing in the nav bar. Oh, and basically it's that same screen I saw before. So that is a little bit of a bummer. Whoops, I clicked over to the solutions page by accident, and it looks like it didn't actually save my theme customization here because now my background color is back to this kind of royal blue color. And if I go back home, I am now on light mode instead of dark mode. So let's go back here. We'll change it over to dark mode. All of my fonts have been reset as well. I thought I hit apply there, but perhaps I did not. All right, so I'm pumping up the font size again. I'm gonna hit apply. Oh, and it just went right. Oh, there we go. All right. Had me worried for a moment. Now let's test it out. I'm going to go over. You saw the save message. I'm going to go to solutions. And then we'll come back to home. And sure enough, everything's saved this time. All right. So that's great. Let's go ahead and customize this top menu bar. So I will change the theme color once more and apply changes. Okay, so I want to get into editing the content and see how far I can actually take this. It does have this little neg screen down here to connect up a domain. So I do have to click that just to make it go away. It's actually asking me to log in here, which is an odd move after I've already been configuring my account. But from this point on, it looks like it wants me to connect up my domain name. If I don't have one, you can buy a domain name from one of these providers. Actually, they're going to sell me a domain name. Yeah, looks like they're going to connect up to Inos and I can buy one right from them. So what I'm going to do is use a subdomain here just to get this connected up and we can see how this works. So I've got butternut.clientamp.com. So I'm using a subdomain. Of course, you could use a root domain if you wanted to as well. It says, would you like to update the A records on your domain? I'd like to do it automatically or manually. I think I'm going to do it manually. I'm nervous about this automatic option, but yeah, let's do it manually. Okay, so here is the records I basically need to just add in. What if I do it automatically? Click here to connect domain. Okay, so it uses this other service, Entry, to easily configure your domain. You'll obviously need to give it some kind of access to your domain. I'm not going to do that. I will just do it manually since I know how. All I really need is the IP address right here, and then I'll create records for the root as well as the www, but I don't really need that. I'm using a subdomain. So what I'm going to do is just jump over into Cloudflare, add a record in. The name will be Butternut, and the IP address is pasted in. I will turn off proxying and save. Now that that's done, I will click verify on my domain. And there it is. Your website is live. It says you can go check it out right here at butternut.clientamp.com. Don't mind if I do, Butternut. Whoops, it says connection is not private. They need to go ahead and issue an SSL certificate. Nothing to really worry about here. Even though it looks scary, I can still visit the page. I'm gonna go ahead and visit the website. And there it is, a real live website. All right, back to editing. I'm glad we've got that done. Hopefully that little neg screen goes away. So here's the home screen, by the way. If you had multiple websites, of course, they would all be laid out right here. We can do website mapping. What is this? Oh, it looks like this is just where your websites are actually mapped to in terms of their domain name. I think I only get one website with my plan. We'll check on the plans and pricing again in a little bit, but it looks like they would allow me to create up to 3 websites here. Yeah, with tier 1, I'm only supposed to get 1 live website and 1 custom domain. So perhaps I can create more than that, but I have to pay in order to actually link up a custom domain. Okay, now for real, more on the plans and pricing later. All right, now let's get into the actual editor. I'm gonna open this up, and the first thing I wanna do is this headline. I don't like it. So let's go ahead and regenerate. I could either regenerate or regenerate with comments. Let's start off by just regenerating, and we'll see what it says. It's thinking, kind of went blurry on me. And I think it didn't change at all, right? Now I could also regenerate up here, it looks like, for this entire hero section. So I'm gonna try that and see if it looks any better. Ooh, it gave me that kind of shop background. Don't necessarily love that. I can regenerate the image with AI, so that's cool. It says, describe keywords for image you want and our AI will generate it for you. All right, I'm just gonna say modern geometric background. Let's see how that actually does. All right, I guess that is geographic, right? It looks like these kind of rectangles coming through, almost like it's been extruded or something. So that looks kind of cool. I could, of course, upload my own background image here if I wanted, or just go ahead and regenerate it again. But we still have not fixed this headline. So let's try it with regenerating with comments. Okay, so I put in a prompt here. It's not that long of a prompt, but really the box only gives you enough space to write like 6 or 7 words, which is a little bit annoying. Like they could give us some space here. So what I said was make this headline clearly communicate who we help and how we do it. I'll hit add and let's see what headline it comes up with. Still says the same thing. All right, that's annoying. We can just edit this, by the way. We can type in whatever we want here, but that's not the point. All right, I'm just doing something cheesy for the prompt. I said we are the best website host and support for creators. Let's see if we can get it to do literally anything for that subject line. It just took the exact prompt that I gave it. So cool. All right, I'm gonna try to edit this subheadline here. I just said don't use marketing hype words and we'll see what it pumps out. Before it said client amp, we amplify your, okay, so that's definitely different. We provide comprehensive website management, support, and hosting services tailored for creators and e-commerce site owners. Let us handle the technical aspects while you focus on running your online business efficiently. All right, that's cool. One more time on this main headline, make this more concise and catchy is what I said. Empowering creators with managed WordPress solutions. I think that would get me sued, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. Okay, so as I scroll through the page here, you're gonna notice that as a section changes, there's a little plus button over here. There's also an AI button, so I can build a new section with AI, I assume. We'll check on that. But first, let's just add in a section. I've got all of these different types of sections that I can use. It also says, try building with AI bot up here. Add descriptions of the sections and AI will generate it for you. But for now, I just wanna go ahead and let's add in a YouTube video. And you can see as I change any of these, it's going to essentially override, like I can't do a YouTube video and book an appointment. It's one or the other. I can embed our Google Analytics or any other embed code here. That's nice. I know that embedding code is actually a paid tier for AppSumo, so I don't think everyone has access to this. If you're on tier 1, you do not have the ability to embed code as far as I know. There's also some wireframes down here if you want to do an image and a text or 2 columns. There is some cards with stuff on the left or the right. There's some photo wireframes as well as collections and sequences. So text box, large bulleted lists, and icons with text. But for now, I'm gonna go with YouTube video. Let's hit generate. All right, so it's generating content. I've got another little animation. And then here is my new section. It just says add video. I can click here to grab my embed code. So of course, this is gonna be the share button along with the embed code over on YouTube. I will copy this, paste it back over in the box and hit save changes. And there we go. Here is my YouTube video. Still have a section up here, which I can edit. Okay, so that must just be the overall code, but it appears below it. I'm gonna hit this preview button. This pops open Butternut AI. It's not the actual website, it's more of a preview. And I can see it doesn't look like there is that big amount of space like there is in the editor. Well, actually it does. Yeah, it's still there. Okay, so let's keep scrolling through the page, look for opportunities to edit. Notice there are these up and down icons. So if I wanted to move this lower on the page, I could do that. So currently it looks like it has the services selected. So it's this section here. I can move this down. And now I've got the AppSumo video here. If we select the AppSumo video, move this down, services comes up and the video is down here. You can also turn off visibility for a section. There's a little eyeball icon over here. And if I click that and I'm very patient, I have to wait a few seconds. Eventually it becomes kind of dimmed to indicate that it's hidden. If I load up my website here, so here's butternut.clientamp.com. And if I scroll through, I should not see the video anywhere. And then if we just turn it back on, reload the page, sure enough, here is the video. So a few things that kind of stand out to me as I'm doing this. First of all, there is no save button. So as I'm working in the editor, here's the editor, any changes I make are gonna go live immediately. Let's say I'm working on typing this and I put an extra S in. Well, I have to hit save changes here, but that's publishing essentially, right? So here is the extra S and then going back over here, reloading, I should have an extra S. Yep, sure, this is a live site, butternut.clientamp.com. So then once again, if I were to accidentally click this arrow, move this up to the top of the page. So now it is above the video. that should automatically happen. So key features will now go right above on the live page. Yep, sure did. And then after key features is the video. So all of those changes are happening immediately without any confirmation or request to publish. It just happens right away. So just be warned. All right, so as I scroll through the page, I did notice that this text is pretty hard to read, this kind of very light gray on the black background. If I hit edit here, I can actually change the headline as well as the text, and I can also change the color of that text. Can't do that for the menu bar, so that is a little bit of a bummer, but there is an option here to change the overall text color. So let's say I made everything white. It looks like I can do that right here. Select this, we'll go white and save those changes. There it is. This is updated now. Okay, so then I have to go over to the next section, make those same changes again. It'd be really nice if they had maybe a section level adjustment for text. So I could just say, okay, all text in this section, because it's got a black background, make it white. Or you know what, I'm in dark mode. So when I change my theme, have some color options over here. Now, like on this section, it does have the ability to add an additional item. So I can add in, I assume item number 4 would show up right here, which obviously would look a lot nicer than just having 1, 2, and then 3 kind of off balance. Yep, sure enough, it did show up. And this time it came with the right colors. So that's pretty cool. It kind of picked up on, hey, we've got a different color background now, and it made the appropriate adjustment. But where I'm going with this is that it's not always good, because if we check out, let's say, the client section, and I scroll down through the client section, this is essentially a testimonial, but there's no way to add in another one. It's just client's feedback. And then I've got this message here from Jane Doe. And I would love to be able to add in, multiple sections like this, but there is no way to duplicate the section. There's no additional item button like we saw before. So the only thing I could probably do is try to recreate it by adding in a section, maybe add this quote section here. I'm not really even sure which one to do. Yeah, this looks pretty similar, but it doesn't have all of the text fields that we saw in this one, where it has like a headline, a text field, and then a quote. So you'd think, okay, no problem. You just click the plus button to add in, but there's no plus button. The plus button is only for entire sections. So we need to have some kind of element level addition ability here, which doesn't exist right now. All right, so I just want to point out real quick that I did get my SSL certificate. It just took a second to get issued. You can see there is a padlock up here. Okay, so you're getting a feel for how the editor actually works. There is also a CMS built in. Of course, it is not going to be full on WordPress, but it can actually create blogs. So let's go check this out. And then I'll click Add Page, go to the blog page. Here's blogs, and click over to that. And this says blog posts are an effective way to grow your audience, write your own, or generate with AI. I could say, write about optimizing WordPress for conversions and e-commerce sales. And I'm going to add in some keywords here. I can make it branded context, give my brand a voice. Let's say I am witty, and my target audience is, let's say, both 25 to 35. I can only select one audience, and it does not need to be location specific. Hit next, and it's going to go ahead and start blogging for me. It says select one title, maximize WooCommerce, boost revenue with a smile, laugh your way to higher conversions, from course to cart. All right, I'm going to go with this one right here. I'll select that and go to next. Now it's creating the paragraphs and headings. So very similar to a lot of content writers. It's just going to kind of walk you through the process here. We've got the suggested title, the suggested keywords, and then the overall paragraphs. So I can add in more paragraphs if I want, clicking add paragraph header. And then of course I can move these around to kind of put them in order. So right now it starts off with this. Here's the flow of the article. So I could adjust that. Of course, I can click in to actually manually adjust these as well. And then we'll click generate blog. And here we go. It's actually writing the real post. All right, so here is our blog post. It looks pretty decent, actually. We've got the date at the top here. We've got our subject line, the author name, which of course I could edit. And then as we scroll through, we've got an image and then a full on article. Not super readable with the current theme, and also the line length, again, really getting me. I would love for this to be a lot shorter. That's kind of a personal pet peeve of mine. We've got some share links down at the bottom here. I can edit those, add in our share links, I'm sure. Oops, this is not formatting very nicely. Oh, it looks like it's got white text on white background here, but there is a spot for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, as well as email, and I could probably click over here somewhere. I'm just guessing at this point where the fields would be. Okay, so just a CSS issue. You can probably inspect this and modify it if you wanted. But if you can do that, you're probably not using this tool either. Now, only the one image here, and it's a Bitcoin image, so that's a little bit weird. But other than that, I could obviously regenerate it. And I can go ahead and edit this blog if I'd like as well. Opens it up into a nice little editor where I can drop in images or embed a video. So I still have a few questions like what happens when someone submits a form? Let's go over to the contact page and see if there's anything we can configure here. So if I hit edit, I've got the name, the email, and the message label, but I don't know actually what's going to happen when this form is submitted. Let's try it again. I'm just going to add in a new one here. I'm actually adding a new section, a contact form. Hit generate. It's going to generate the content for the contact form. Here's a much better looking contact form in my opinion. But once again, I don't have any options for actually what happens like when you click this button. Now I don't really need two contact forms here, so I'm just going to get rid of the one I just created by clicking on that trash icon. And there we go. Now I've just got this single form. All right, so this wasn't something I was expecting to see. I'm over in the settings, not just kind of tooling around, not expecting to be recording this. But there's a section here that says custom chatbot. I just hit enable custom chatbot and it's going to train a chatbot based on the content on my website. And then I've got a few questions down here and I can add in some specific training information if I like. So, wow, didn't expect that. Let's go ahead and see what the chatbot looks like. So here is my actual URL. I'm going to reload this page. And I assume, yep, I've got a little chatbot down here. I think kind of the main thing I'm taking away from this right now is that AI is not going to take away the jobs of website developers right now, but it probably will in the not too distant future because this isn't good, but it's certainly not terrible either. I think people have paid money for worse sites than this, and then you get charged extra for the chatbot. So this is definitely intriguing. So anyway, I got to the chatbot section by clicking to go back to the dashboard, and then I noticed the settings option right here. I clicked on this and I noticed chatbot right here and enabled it. Now, where I was actually going with this is to try to figure out where the heck the contact forms will actually end up going. So if I notice there is a subscriber section, this would be for the newsletter opt-in, and I can export the subscribers right here, which is just going to export it to a CSV file. Now, I don't have any users, but here is my CSV file, so it does actually work. It's just a blank document. I guess there is one way to find out. I'll just fill out the form. Ooh, the form has kind of a gray text on a dark background, very hard to read. All right, so I'm just going to submit this. It says it's been sent successfully. Let's reload. Okay, that did not add me into the subscribers. But sure enough, I did get an email from Pratika, I think that's how you say that, at butternut.ai, which contains the contents of the form. Though a little unorthodox here to actually get a personal email for the result of a form fill, but there it is. If you needed to get contacts, leads on your website, this works, it's functional. All right, we got to fill out the contact form as well. Let's try that out. I'll hit subscribe here. It says, thank you for subscribing. And then back inside of the dashboard, if I go to settings and go to my subscribers, here is my subscriber here. And of course I could export it. And here's the updated CSV with my opt-in. So everything is functional there as well. So there is an SEO section here where you can go ahead and check out if your site is optimized for SEO. And we've got a section here for site content and structure. We've got SEO optimization controls. So there's a robot.txt as well as a sitemap XML file. And we can even get verified with Google if you'd like. Down below is the page metadata. So if I wanted to update like the homepage metadata, I can click right here. I've got a title and description. No options for any open graph images as far as I can tell. Open graph images are the social sharing images that show up when someone shares your page on like Facebook or Instagram, something like that, or even Twitter. Under custom data, it has the original prompt that I used to build this entire website, which is kind of impressive when you think about it from that point of view. So here is that prompt. I can't edit it or change anything on this page. And there's this section here which says custom component data. I don't really know what that refers to either. So as far as I can tell, this is just kind of a record of how the site was created, but there's nothing you can do to edit this. Maybe just for future reference if you want to use the same prompt to create another website. There is an analytics section down here where you can simply just enter in your Google Analytics ID and that will connect everything up. But other than that, there's not like a built-in analytics system or anything. You'll definitely just have to rely on Google for that. All right, we've covered just about everything, but there's one more thing I want to mention. On this nav bar, if you hit edit, we have added pages. I actually clicked this button here, but it's gonna be the same location if I add a page. We've added the nav bar where this opens up the nav bar and we can change all of the information. Interesting that it has like a call button here, and I don't see a call button, but I digress. There is also an option in the middle to edit pages, and this is essentially just editing the slugs as well as the title of the page. So, and let's say you wanted this to be testimonial, singular. You could delete the S right there, and now the slug of this page will have changed. Or I could change the name of the page as well and just make it testimonial because I've only got one. We can also reorganize the items. So here is solution. If I wanted to bring this down, I'll use this down arrow. And you can see there, it goes below clients. Now let's bring it back up. It kind of takes a while, actually, once you click it for it to move. So I'll move contact us up just to show you again. It's about 5 seconds for the change to actually happen. So everything on the interface is maybe a little bit more sluggish than I'd like. Yeah, that was probably about 2 or 3 seconds for this page to load. Okay, so just a few things left that I want to do. First of all, I'm going to test my website using PageSpeed Insights just for fun. It doesn't really matter. And then we're going to go over to the AppSumo plans and pricing and tell you about how much this is going to cost you. I almost forgot there is one more thing to check out, and that is the AI section builder. So if I click on the plus button, actually don't click there, but go to the right, there is a build with AI option. This is going to insert a section wherever you're at in the page, but this time I've got a little chatbot over here that I can tell what I want to have shown on the page. I've got two options actually. I can do it via AI, or there is a code mode over here where I can add in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I bet you didn't see that one coming, given all of the limitations there are on customization. All right, I just created a prompt for this. It says, create a section on custom course creation where we will take your videos and turn them into a fully produced online course complete with sales funnel and LMS. Once again, I'm faced with the issue where I just don't have enough room to write. It's a very, very small window here, but I'm going to submit this, and now it says generating here. And there we go. I've got my custom section here. It says custom course creation. We will take your videos and turn them into a fully produced online course. We can close this bot here. It's the exact prompt that I gave it. End-to-end video processing and editing, professional course structuring, integrated sales funnel, LMS integration, and custom branding and design, along with a get started button. And when I click that, it just says your request has been submitted. Down below, however, I can see all of the code that it actually wrote, and I can even edit it. So if I were to go find this button, I could modify this. Let's just say I change the words. I'll just say learn more. And when I click away, I'm going to execute, actually, it changes the button here. Now, obviously, I could go ahead and continue to configure this to be exactly what I like, but the requirement then would be that I know how to write HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so here is PageSpeed Insights. I've entered in the URL here. Let's go ahead and hit analyze. And it's unable to resolve the website. That is very weird. I'm going to try clearing the cache for Google and see if I can actually get this to load. Yes, I'm clearing the cache for Google for my website, not all of the internet, but you can actually do this. Here is the Google public DNS. We can flush the cache here for our actual website. I will hit flush, and it is currently flushing. Hopefully this resolves the issue. And now back over on PageSpeed Insights, I will try again, and it's running the analysis. It looked like flushing the cache actually worked, and hopefully we end up with a reasonably fast website here. All right, we got the report back here, and it's not great. A 24 on mobile performance. We go over to desktop, slightly better, 67, but certainly not super fast. There is no real reason why this page should load slowly. I'm gonna load it again here, and you can just see there is a little bit of a lag, like from when you request it until when it appears. It's certainly not like 7 seconds or whatever PageSpeed Insights said. It probably is 7 seconds for it to fully load. There's no real reason this should be slow because it should be something that can be fully cached, meaning there's no dynamic content here at all. So that shouldn't really be a problem. All right, heading over to AppSumo, let's take a look at the plans and pricing for Butternut AI. I do have a link in the description if you want to help support the channel. If you found this video to be helpful, make sure you click on that before making a purchase at AppSumo for Butternut or anything else. So Tier 1 is going to be $59 currently, and again, that is on sale for the next 6 days. However, there are 4 different plans available. Tier 1 is what I've been using throughout this video, but you can go up to Tier 2 to unlock a lot more features, such as unlimited AI blog posts, unlimited AI queries, as well as WhatsApp integration and custom code embedding. In addition to all of those features, you're also going to get 10x the amount of storage. So from 10 gigs up to 100 gigs per site, and you get 3 sites in total. So it's really a pretty good value if you like this tool and you want to go from tier 1 to tier 2. I think that's a reasonable investment. Now, there are 2 more tiers. With tier 3, everything remains essentially the same, except we go up to 10 websites. And with tier 4, we are looking at 25 websites. Now, this is not cheap. This is $700 at this discounted price. It will go up probably fairly substantially for the higher tiers after the 6 days is up. Honestly, I don't know if I would go with tier 4. 25 websites for $700 kind of feels like a lot to me, but if you already have the 25 websites pre-sold, well, then it makes a lot more sense because it's just going to be, money in the bank. But if you're assuming you'll be able to get 25 customers to pay for this and turn a profit, that might be harder to do. So yeah, definitely just kind of start slowly. And remember, with AppSumo, you can always upgrade your plan later on. You can go up to a higher tier or even refund if the deal is still available and it's within 60 days. That's the important part. It has to be within 60 days of your original purchase. Upgrade anytime the deal is still available. Downgrade within 60 days of purchase. All right, so final conclusion time. Before I do that, make sure you click the like button and get subscribed if you haven't already. What do I say about this tool? Like, as someone who builds websites, not terribly impressed. As a fan of technology, the fact that I could write one sentence and get an entire website, obviously that is very impressive. There's a lot that I'd want to change in order for this to actually be usable. For me, I want it to be more narrow and I want to have more customizable options for things like colors to make sure it's accessible and readable and converts. Those are things that are very important to me. And right now, there's just not enough features to guarantee that that's going to happen. So that's gotta hurt it in the scoring. But if we just stand back from a technological point of view, this is definitely kind of a change in how things are done. The fact that we're starting to see more and more of these AI website builders, it's not gonna be long until they are fully customizable and very excellent in their quality. However, right now, Butternut loads slowly. It actually is a little bit slow to use from the administrative point of view, and there's just not enough customization. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 5.3. That's gonna do it for this video. If you want more from me, make sure you check out clientamp.com. Get subscribed to our free email newsletter over there. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions, or maybe you wanna correct me on anything I got wrong. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.